Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Let's Play. Let's go, Pokemon Eevee. It's never going to get old or easier to pronounce that title. I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you. Today we will be going down, I believe it's called Pokemon Road in this Let's Play. They replaced the cycling road with, I believe it's just called Pokemon Road. We'll see that here in a second. Yeah, Pokemon Road. And we'll also be beating the training dojo, which I've always got a kick out of because, you know, as a kid growing up, one of the nicknames my friends had given to me was Gun Show Joe. So I always loved the training dojo. Usually I give it like a Gun Show Joe episode or something like that. But because we're doing a 2-for-1 here, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. We'll just say the training dojo plus Pokemon Road. It should be a pretty straightforward episode. We're going to do all of the trainer battles. I cut out all the times I go back to heal and things like that because I don't want to use potions at this point in the game as much. You'll definitely see them being used, like potions and revives, but just know that I'm really trying to lean off of using them as much as I possibly can in these episodes, just for the sake of we are approaching the end game. I want as many healing items as I can possibly get to carry over into the end of the game. So I'm trying to do my due diligence and not use them as frequently as I normally would on a Let's Play. That could become a bit convoluted as episodes go on. And you can see also, you're going to see a lot in this episode. I'm doing a lot of switch training with Chomper here. And then next episode, I'm going to do a lot of switch training with Taiga. So I'm going to be really switching them in and out. I really want Chomper to evolve sooner versus later because he's going to become a very valuable asset on the team very quickly. Taiga will as well, because when we go into exploring Team Rocket, which I believe will be the next episode when we finally take down Team Rocket once and for all. Of course, Giovanni will still be out there, but we'll deal with him later. But when we finally take down the headquarters of Team Rocket in this game, we will be able to get Flamethrower, and we could teach Taiga Flamethrower, which will make Taiga 10 times more useful. I mean, watch how much Ember does, which is like a single stage move, like Charmander would learn that. And that's doing more than half. So once we learn Flamethrower, he's going to be able to one-hit any single bug, grass-type Pokemon that comes at him. Especially the Steel typing, he's going to have a lot of coverage there. So I'm really excited for that. And I also want to keep his level up because of that. Like, I want everybody to be in or around the mid-40s by the end of this week. I did state in the Mario episode on Monday, and I'm going to share that here now, this series is going to have a slight change to when episodes come out. Now, don't be alarmed. It's actually good news. So because I really want to get this Let's Play finished on time and solely focus on Kingdom Hearts 2 and Pokemon Soul Silver next month, my plan is to switch this Let's Play from Tuesdays and Thursdays to Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So you'll be getting an additional episode per week, and then next week, this week it'll be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then next week I'm hoping it'll be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and finale Sunday night. So the finale of the Mario game will come out Sunday morning maybe, and the finale of this Sunday night. Maybe they'll both come out Sunday night, I don't know. But then we'll immediately be able to transition into Kingdom Hearts on Monday. That is my hope. I may honestly take a week off because the schedule is going to be pretty brutal from there on out. I think that's going to be a staple for Pokemon games moving forward, is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, especially with Soul Silver. Soul Silver is such a long game. It takes so long to get through the entirety of the game that I think it's going to end up eating up a lot more time than I'm anticipating right now. So, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a massive game. That's definitely Monday, Wednesday, Friday. At the minimum, it may switch into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, if it needs to. So, yeah, I would say for finishing up this month, I would expect to see episodes coming out 6 days a week, which is pretty remarkable. Do I have the time to do that? No, absolutely not. Are we gonna try? Yes. I'm gonna make every attempt to do it. I'm also working on some, I know these episodes tend to be a little bit longer than the Super Mario episodes, and I tend to rant a little bit more about things on the channel as a whole. But I also want to do, for a long portion of time here, I've been writing like short stories and books and things like that, and I kind of want to animate them. At the very least, what I want to do is make them into like almost like comic strips at some point, or something along those lines, so that way maybe the creative minds that read it can go and do something more with them. People that have more time on their hands and see the value in the storytelling perspectives or anything like that. So I just wanted to post that up there because there may be some like off the wall kind of videos coming out here at some point in time. I went out and I got an iPad to kind of start jotting some of that stuff down and start making some animations and start playing with it. I don't know how much time I'll have to invest in it, but I just wanted to drop that in here in case some of those videos make their way onto this channel in like a subset. I don't think that'll have any interference on any of the Let's Plays, but like I said, I always like to be transparent, so like if something's eating up my time, I like to share that. But here we go, we're battling Executor, which is, if you don't know, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. He's helped me out of so many situations, and we were actually at one point in time considering replacing good old Splinter, our Raichu, on the team with Executor, because number one, I have a favoritism towards the Psychic type Pokemon, and he is part Psychic type. Number two, he has some pretty good coverage with the Grass type. He can also cover Rock and Ground, which Raichu obviously cannot. It is extremely weak to those Pokemon. So at one point in time, that was a consideration. I don't think it is now. Actually, interesting enough, up on this path, we do encounter some Eevees. So we could have had a Jolteon as well, which I think would be an amazing addition to the team. But I've played through this game with Jolteon so much. And the whole goal, right, and it's why I decided not to go with Executor to begin with. The whole purpose of this Let's Play was to play through my favorite region, which is Kanto, hands down. Johto's a close number 2, but that's because Kanto encompasses, I'd say, 40, maybe 30% of that game. But Kanto is by far my favorite region, and the whole purpose of me orchestrating this team was to use not the starters, because I've done it a million times, and to use a team I've never used before. Like, to use a lot of Pokemon that I don't feel, they're like my misfits of Pokemon, right? I mean, Kadabra is really the exception to the rule there. I use Kadabra on every Let's Play that I do when it comes to Johto or Kanto. It just happens. It's when we do Soul Silver, I'm going to try and make the promise. I want to use solely Generation 2 Pokemon. So I'm going to try and keep away from using Kadabra, but it's really hard to promise that because Kadabra is such a tank. Like, it truly is one of the best Pokemon in these games. If I could get an Alakazam, I would. That's the only thing separating me from saying outside of Legendaries, in this game, Alakazam is the best Pokemon to use. Hands down. I don't even think it's up for debate. If there's a better Pokemon to use in this game outside of Alakazam that's a non-legendary Pokemon, drop that in the comments down below. Because I have a hard time believing it. It's a very hard... Yeah. It's tough to compete against. Like, it's a solid Pokemon. And I could see that... I know what the results will be already. It'll be like Tauros, Kangaskhan, Snorlax, like all those, a Charizard for the diehard Charizard fans, but I mean, Alakazam has so many strengths in this game, and given that the majority of people that pose a conflict in the story are Team Rocket, and they tend to use either Fighting type, Poison type, and rarely Normal type, the Psychic type dominates both poison and fighting type, and does an okay job against normal type. It's not super effective, but all of its moves are super strength related. Like, it deals a wallop every time it's in there. That's probably the first time I used the word wallop in a long time, but yeah, it's just one of those scenarios where it's really hard to avoid that. Like, Alakazam is an amazing pick. Snorlax is too, if you're willing to like stall. Tauros as an all-out attacker is pretty good. But yeah, I think Alakazam is the best Pokemon for Generation 1. Maybe I'll leave that as a question for this video. What Pokemon do you think is the best in Generation 1? And maybe we'll get to answer that, because like I said, once we get through all these Let's Plays and then I go through and do Nuzlockes of everything, I really don't know what we're going to do with the Pokemon series. I mean, we'll be playing it next month with Soul Silver, but I've started to draft out what like the next couple of years of this channel look like. And it's like, after 2024, I don't really know what we're doing with Pokemon. Like, I'm kind of hands in the air. There's some exciting stuff in between there, like I want to get into the Pikmin series and some other stuff, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how much I deviate from the schedule too, with like new stuff coming out, and I'm sure like new technologies given like the Xbox and the Switch here. I'm probably going to transition. I'm still on the old Xbox One. It's still holding tight here. I don't feel like I need the... Is that the Xbox I have? I think it's the Xbox One. I don't know what the... Yeah, I think the newest Xbox is like the Xbox X or something like that. Let me search that up real quick. We have the time on this Let's Play. That's what I really like about this one compared to the Super Mario one, is this one's like really more laid back. We could really have fun with it. So the Xbox One is what I have. What's the newest Xbox? The Xbox Series X, is that what it is? Yeah. I'll probably get that a year down the road or something like that. At this point in time, it really doesn't seem like it's the cream of the crop, as Microsoft was really gung-ho about it in the beginning. I don't know. I just don't think it has all that. It doesn't add substantial value to the original Xbox One. I think the Xbox One is a solid enough machine. It does what it needs to do, and my PC outperforms probably a lot of it, so. I just can't get over PC controls, and it takes a lot to adjust to that. Here we go. I think this is yeah, this is a coach trainer. So they're going to have some pretty good team members. And we just opened another soda pop. Not sure if you caught that there. Like I said, at the beginning part of this episode, I'm really going back and healing a lot more than I normally do. When it becomes a hassle to like go back and heal, and it's like, okay, well, the walk takes more time than it does to just sort of deal with these problems. That's when I just sort of say, yeah, to hell with it, and start doing things the normal way, but we'll see how far that goes. I don't do that. I'm not willing to sacrifice, like, large chunks of time for minimal non-healing time. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but use Thunderbolt. Hopefully this is a one-hit KO. Nope. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, very nice. But yeah, this episode we'll be dealing with Pokemon Road, and then we'll be dealing with the Fighting Dojo. Next episode we'll be dealing with Team Rocket and all their antics. And then the episode coming out, so this is coming out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The episode coming out Saturday is going to be pretty remarkable. We'll be getting a gym badge from Sabrina. And we'll also be catching our first legendary Pokemon of the series, which is going to be pretty dang cool. Normally, I really, really, really struggle with catching Pokemon that are legendary Pokemon. And this game gives me all the opportunities in the world to do so. It's really lenient on that. Like the Pokemon can't accidentally kill itself or anything like that. So that will be a ton of fun. It's exciting for me. And like I said, I think I've said this before on this channel, but if not, I'll reiterate. How I like to do these videos in general is I like to record everything on the weekend and then do the voice recordings throughout the week. So that's how I know, what's going to come out. Now, in some examples, like if you watch the Super Mario episode that came out yesterday, I only recorded the Monday and Wednesday episode. So that's why I don't know what Friday looks like. Like I'm kind of, left in the dark. I didn't record it yet, so I have no idea. But when it comes to Pokemon, I mean, Pokemon's such especially in the Kanto region, I have played through it enough times that I don't really need to pay attention to what's going on. Like, I already know. It's, like, ingrained in my memory that, like, it's sort of like, if you have a job and you're driving to work, right? If you've been working there for, like, a year, you know what the drive looks like. Like, you could probably do it with your eyes closed from your house to your workplace. That's how it is for me playing through Kanto. There is some new and exciting stuff that they introduce in this Let's Play that shakes it up a little bit, but it's really not out of this world different. That's how I would put it, but I don't know, like I said, yeah, it's funny, like the Super Mario episodes tend to be like right on point, following what we're doing, and then these episodes tend to be a little bit more rambly, a little bit more just sort of off the cuff, because it's really hard to get involved in like every single fight going on unless something exciting is going on as well. They were learning Drill Run. That'll be good. I think Rhyhorn learned that naturally, but I sort of want to replace... I think I didn't teach it to Rhyhorn initially because it's not 100% accuracy. Yeah, it's 95, which the growing joke, I know all of you will see that and say 95 is pretty accurate, but the growing joke in Pokemon is if it's not 100, it's 50%. Like, it's the way that the algorithm works is pretty crappy. But I haven't used Thunderbolt on Chomper in a long time. Mainly because I was thinking it would be a good backup if we ever came against a water type and it was like our last Pokemon standing. But if it's our last Pokemon standing with how slow he is, we're probably already hosed. So I think it's safe to teach him Drill Run, because I don't think he's going to take down a Starmie with a Drill Run. But let's give a rare candy to Chomper, I guess. I want Chomper to evolve this episode. That's my goal. We'll see if we can get there. I don't think we do. I don't think we do, folks. I can promise you this, though. Chomper evolves pretty dang soon. And when he does, he looks pretty darn good. Here, I think I was typing up a text message or something like that. It's only a couple seconds until we do a cut here. Like a hard cut into the next screen. So, no worries. We won't be here too long. We're not stuck on the screen. Your video isn't frozen, folks. That's not what's going on. This is a bad editing at its finest. Let's go. We'll battle the next guy up here. Punk Guy Corey sent out a Primeape. Let's see what you got, Primeape. I'm sending out Chomper. I'm a Chomper. Every time I do that, my dog gets excited because sometimes my dog... I don't like to give too much of my personal information, but my dog is... she's a very vocal dog. She likes to speak out, and sometimes she'll like to... she doesn't bite as much as she'll, like, kind of gnaw on you. Like, I can't think of a way to describe it other than, like, if you could imagine, like, an elderly person with, like, their teeth out. Like, she just sort of gums you, but, you know, her teeth are still in, so she could get a good hold. But she'll wrap it around, like, your hand. Not in a hard way, but, like, more in, like, a... She's trying to hold it and try to drag you to, like, a location. Like, she always tries to tell me what she's doing by opening her mouth and sort of dragging me. And because of that, I've nicknamed her Chomper. From time to time, I'll call her that. So whenever I say Chomper, she gets all excited. You know, something's going on. And that nickname, like I've said before, comes out of the Land Before Time, which as a young lad was one of my favorite television series of all time. I've always been a big dinosaur guy. So Land Before Time was always a ton of fun to watch for me. And Chomper is the name of the baby T-Rex in that series. He's a little blue guy. He's chomping at bugs and stuff, so they name him Chomper when the group comes amongst them. Because the group follows a group of dinosaurs that are herbivores. So you don't really see a lot of violence throughout the majority of the show. But, you know, as it gets into the later seasons, obviously they have to deal with some situations that are less than ideal for herbivore dinosaurs. But that's all I have to share about me being a nerd. Let's take down this primate. Let's give him a good old psychic. Wumbo. Yeah, Wumbo, for as much as like I was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be our water type, I can tell you Wumbo is doing spectacular as a Pokemon. This is a Pokemon I would not sleep on in any other Let's Play ever again. Star me, star you. Great Pokemon. Like, terrific. It blows my mind how much I've slept on them as like a solid water type Pokemon. Like, it has showed up. That's why I'm writing it this episode. It shows up whenever I need it. Like, it is there. There goes the Doduo. I just want to get this Pokeball. Get out of here, Doduo. We had one of you. We evolved you. 2 chains. I mean, he's a really solid Pokemon, but there's not much use for a flying type Pokemon if we can't fly from location to location in this game. That's at least my 2 cents. But a flying type is really good against a fighting type. The grass type. Good coverage there. Bug types, I guess. That's about it. I guess in general they have some pretty solid moves too. You could bank on that, but I've never really loved the flying type. They have a lot of weaknesses. I guess the electric type does too, but I don't know. Yeah, like I said, if there was anybody on the team we were gonna replace, it would be Splinter. He would be the only person that I would say is... He carries his weight, but he does so very loosely. When we need him, but outside of that, it's like, you know, he's just kind of on the team. Which is why I wanted to go with Pikachu as my Let's Go partner. Because we could have really incorporated that and then switched out the normal type for something a little bit more gung-ho. If you watch this Let's Play up until this point, you know that like I use Eevee very sparingly. Now, last episode, I think it was actually off camera. I taught Eevee a whole bunch of useful moves that you can learn in the previous city. And one of them is a fire type, one of them is a psychic type, one of them is a dark type. And it really helps with some of the coverage, but it's not spectacular. But here, Wumbo fainted. This is actually going to be a big problem. I think this Marowak is going to cause us a lot of trouble. I don't think this is going to end smoothly. That is my prediction here. I think we're going to lose a lot of Pokemon against this battle. But I will be right back in a second, ladies and gentlemen. I do have to pause here to use the restroom real quick. So give me 1 sec. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that. Like I said, I had to use the restroom quickly. But yeah, Marowak is really causing some problems right now. It's interesting. Like I said, a lot of this game for me is really like turn off the brain, rinse, repeat. I forget half of that saying, but a lot of it is really just like we're doing the same exact thing over and over and over, like no worries. But this is the first time that a trainer has stood up to me to a point that, like, I'm concerned. They're starting to take out a good chunk of my team, so I'm actually paying attention to what's going on here. Luckily, it doesn't take us long to knock out Marowak with Eevee's newly trained moves. Gunshow takes care of the job. And this may be the first time in a while that you get to see Gunshow's outfit as well. He's wearing the Team Rocket t-shirt, and then I think the sailor hat is what I gave him. He's wearing a hodgepodge of stuff. I wanted him to match me a little bit, but I also wanted him to have like his own sort of unique identity there. But here's Magneton. I think even if we give a Hyper Potion to Chomper, this isn't going to make a huge difference. I think whatever he hits us with is going to do more than half damage. If I'm going to be brutally honest. Flash Cannon, yeah, it's not going to be good. But this trainer is the first trainer that is giving me substantial problems. Right? Because once Chomper dies, which he's about to, let's be clear on that. This isn't like a if. This is like, I'm watching it happen right now. We've got 2 people down. We got Splinter, who can't do much. Spoons, who's halfway down. And Gunshow, who may be able to help out here with his Fire-type move against the Steel typing. Instead, I go for the Glizzy Glow. Why? I have no idea. It landed a critical hit, wishing to be praised. Good job, Gunshow. But I do believe, hopefully I go for it this time, the Sizzle Slide. Yeah. Yeah, it's super effective. Yep. And it caused a burn. He's gonna die right here. But this is the first trainer in a while in this game that's actually given me like a... I got 2 Pokemon down. You know? Especially for just like an average trainer out here. He's an age trainer, but just one of these trainers out here on the... out in the wild. It's been a while since that's happened. You know, against a gym leader, I could understand, but an average trainer? I don't know. You don't see that every day. Let's use some revives here. Like, we're far enough along the lines that I don't want to go back and heal. And so we'll just heal here with some of the items we have. I'm sure once we defeat all the Team Rocket grunts and stuff, because you know me, I'm going to cut out a lot of it, but I'm going to defeat every single last one of them. Just so I could get a ton of experience and things like that. Yeah, so we're going to get a ton of money to be able to replenish our inventory and things like that. I like to hold on to stuff until the end of the game, but 90% of the time I don't end up using it anyways. It doesn't make a huge difference. Flareon is up next. I think we're going to deal with all the evolutions here, but I'd like to deal with Flareon using Chomper, because he is primed for the task. Drill Run. I'm trying to keep a track of how many times we use this versus how many times we miss it, because usually, like I said, anything under 100% equals 50%. That usually doesn't end up being the case for me. Usually I luck out on RNG logic, but even if I miss like twice, it makes a difference. I love 100% moves. Here's a Jolteon. One of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like I said, would absolutely love to replace Splinter with this guy, but we're not going to do that because I don't want to use a Pokemon that I've used 100 times in this game. Even though I know he can do the job slightly better. No offense to Raichu. Jolteon, just a great Pokemon. And it learns Pin Missile, which would be effective against Psychic-type Pokemon. Which can make a big difference. Drill Run did a good job on him, though. He does have his weaknesses, but he's usually a hard-hitting foe. There we go. I hate that they reuse the character sprites so much. It gets so Like, I've just seen it a million times, you know? Here we go, against Vaporeon, which was actually in our last Let's Play, I believe. Is that right? I think in Pokemon Scarlet we had a Vaporeon that hung around till the very end of the game. Not a Pokemon I would typically ever use, but I believe... correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we had a Vaporeon named Bobby Boucher that made it to the very end of the game. And I was very impressed in what the Vaporeon could do. I mean, Vaporeon learned a lot of good Ice-type moves, as long as the Water-type moves, like, it was able to hold its own. Which usually Vaporeon is not, like, a really loved Pokemon, because usually, I mean, it's overshadowed by Gyarados and a lot of other great Water-type Pokemon. Like I said, we'll be getting a Lapras free of charge here soon enough. Usually that's enough to deter the crowds, but... yeah, I went for it last time when we played Pokemon Scarlet, I believe, and I think it was on the final team. I think it was that strong of a Pokemon. And here I wanted to avoid this trainer, just for the sake of avoiding them at this point. I mean... my team's pretty beat up. And depending on what this trainer had, it could have been a big deal, but I think they just have a couple Psyducks, so we won't have to worry about it too much. My team's not really all that beat up. I was just feeling lazy, I guess. Like I said, that's why, like, this Let's Play to me is fundamentally different than, like, every Let's Play. Like, all the Pokemon Let's Plays to me tend to be a little bit more relaxing on my end, because it tends to be more Pokemon stuff and me just kind of chilling, whereas like the Mario stuff, for whatever reason, I feel like I need to like be 100% in it for those Let's Plays, which is really funny because they get like less views and things like that. Like it's really funny, but I don't know, maybe that's part of it, maybe it's not, maybe it's just because Mario has like a ton of stuff going on. Who cares? I have a difference between how I run the two, and it is what it is. I guess that's all you could say. But here we go. Let's use Splinter. Like I said, we're really switch training Chomper at this point in time. We just want Chomper to be ready. I want Chomper to evolve on time and do a good job. That's my main goal. If we could accomplish that, 2 thumbs up for Average Joe. We got it. There we go. We defeated the Reuben. The hot Reuben sandwich from Arby's. We had it our way. What do you got to say about that, Reuben? Huh? What do you got to say? Nothing. You ain't got nothing over here on Pokemon Road. We got 3 great balls. I've only got 2, but we've got 3 in this game, so let's go. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Let's make our way through. Not a whole lot of car traffic in this episode. Normally I have a lot of cars. Look at all those Doduos. They're having a party. It's a Doduo rave up there. It's Poliwrath. Chilling outside. Let's go in here and heal. I believe this is the town. I may be incorrect here, but this town currently is overrun by Team Rocket individuals. And we're going to have to save it next episode. But the training dojo is available for us to enter, and I think we're going to do that real quick first, before we give them liberty. Nope, wrong town. Thinking of the wrong town. Town we want to go to is over this way. Not this way. Starmie's such a cool Pokemon, man. Floating on it, traveling through the town. Yes, let's use Chomp Down. I think it's either the next town over or the next town up. Yeah, it's the next town over. This is where, like, the pinnacle of, like, all the stories kind of converge that we've dealt with up until this point. It's, in my opinion, not really anything substantial. But that's because I played through Kanto more times than you could believe. But here we go. There's the gym over there, which we can't get to, and then there's the fighting dojo. So the fighting dojo we can battle right now. We're going to be ambushed in groups of 2. So we'll have to fight one, then the other. Then in the next set we'll have to fight one, then the other, and then we'll have to fight the dojo leader. They're all fighting type Pokemon. If you have a psychic type Pokemon on the team, no problem. Flying type, you could probably deal with a lot of them. It's not hard. The only thing that makes it difficult in this situation is we're switch training Rhyhorn. That's it. Outside of that, it would have been the most straightforward area of a Let's Play you could humanly imagine. It just adds an extra turn to each transition. That's all that it does. Because we're still one-hitting them. Like, there's still 0 effort involved in all of it, so... Splinter leveled up. Spoons leveled up. I leveled up. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tired at this point, folks. This guy moves boulders every day. Oh, what a strong lad. Sent out a Graveler. Okay, so a little bit different. I stand corrected. Guess you need a water type here as well. Or, in this case, I don't know why I switched, because Chomper could have used Dig and dealt with him. Or Drillhorn. It would have been super effective. He uses Earthquake, which would have killed Chomper in an instant. So I'm glad I didn't do that. But I think Surf here should do big damage. And this is the part, like, I don't think I showed how I ever got Surf, but it's a TM you can learn right outside of Koga's gym. And that's, like, part of, like, the whole trying to get rid of some of that training stuff that, like, I really hate. Is, like, I don't get to show, like, all those little finite things. You know, like, that... could be interesting to learn, like, where do you get that in this game, but because we're doing the Let's Play at a level where it's like I have a set deadline but I need to finish, things like that stink. And it is what it is, but you know, can't help but realize it. Here's a Poliwhirl. So this is actually an interesting one, because Poliwhirl isn't even a fighting type Pokemon. Neither is Graveler, but it doesn't even align with it. Like, I don't know how Graveler does either. Graveler makes sense to me more than Poliwhirl, because Poliwhirl evolves into Poliwrath, which has muscles and becomes water fighting type. But you have to switch train it to do that, so you have to trade with somebody and receive it that way. Graveler never does. I don't know why Graveler's here, but somehow Graveler makes more sense to me than Poliwhirl does. I don't know why. It just does. I don't know. If you can make sense of it, drop it down in the comments down below. I can't make any sense of that at all whatsoever right now. To me, it makes 0 sense at all. But maybe it makes sense to you. Maybe you guys understand why. I guess, what does Graveler evolve into? When you trade Graveler, what does it evolve into? Is the question. It's a forearm thing, I think. Search it up. Graveler turns into Golem. But Golem doesn't have a fighting type move. Geodude, Graveler, Golem. Yeah. When it's traded, it evolves into Golem. But what does that have to do? Like, yeah, here's a Poliwrath. We're dealing with Poliwrath up against the actual guy here. This makes more sense to me than the Graveler line, but somehow it makes less sense. I mean, in this case, because it's fully evolved, it makes more sense. But previously it didn't. Its previous evolution made 0 sense. Maybe because they're training it to become into this, but it's stupid. And why is this a training dojo master? Yeah. Why does he just have one? Why does he? Oh. Why doesn't he have him a champ? Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. We could choose one of the two as our picking as our prize winnings. Hitmonlee is the obvious. It's the best answer. Hitmonchan's great, but it's pretty underpowered. It looks cooler, in my opinion, but it's fairly underpowered. And it being a soul fighting type does not give it any benefits. But with there only being 2 minutes left, I do go and try to choose the other Pokemon. I always try to do that, but it doesn't work out. But there only being 2 minutes left, I do want to do my outro here. If you like this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Greatly motivates myself to make videos just like this in the future. If you want me to be less ranty, drop that down below. But remember, like, comment, subscribing, all that stuff is free for you on your end, and greatly motivates myself to make more videos like this. So, really a win-win. Costs you nothing. Greatly motivates myself to make more videos. If you like the videos, makes sense to do it. Why not? And if you made it this far in the video, drop down in the comments section below salami sandwich, so that way I know you made it this far in the video. I highly doubt anybody will do that, but I do like to leave crazy stuff like that at the end of the videos, just in case, to see who actually made it at the end of the videos. I think right now we're just going to heal and clean up stuff like that, but until the next one, guys, I hope you all had a snazzy Monday, and I hope you all are having a snazzy Tuesday morning. Until next time, I hope you all have a snazzy rest of your week, and we'll see you all here on the next one. Hopefully by the time the next episode comes around, we'll be beating up Team Rocket and building up our dream team to the final finale. Like I said before, I like to ramble a little bit more in these Let's Plays, but if that's something that personally you don't like to hear, drop that in the comment section below too, because I'll pick up on it. But until next time, guys, everybody take it easy, and we'll see you all here on the next episode of this Let's Play. If you like Super Mario, check it out on the dates Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I guess, at this point in time. Peace out, guys.